music ultimately creates a language that sometimes we don't have to express how we feel and what kind of situation is going in the world.
Can you define what's going on right now, and what genre of music would you put in right now, and what's going on in the world?
So we're living through an era, a very difficult era, right? Of the where after decades of perhaps the expanding of rights, we now have a retrenchment or like a taking in the most simple form, like our rights as humans are being constrained, are being taken away, and it is infuriating, but at the same time, I mean, not infuriating, and this is something that as humans, and societies have experienced in the past. For me, right now, the music is both thinking of like previous histories, but also it allows me to activate. It allows me to one feel angry, right? So I mean, in that I listen to a lot of punk rock, a lot of music that is socially committed. That yes, it makes me mad again too, as I'm listening to like. So yeah, I'm thinking of Los Crudos. I'm thinking of Rage Against the Machine. I'm thinking of Malta Vecindad. I'm thinking of Nego React, Nego React from País Vasco, Todos Tus Muertos from Argentina. So I listen to that like gets me, on one, like it's fast paced. It shows the intensity of the moment, but it has a, a socially conscious message that it allows me to feel like, yeah, I'm not alone in this. I'm not, like people in the past have fought for, like injustices, and it allows you to, one, verbalize pushback against injustices, but at the same time, also a hopeful message. And so it's not only like the like heartbeat, aggressive music, but then I also listen to Nueva Canción from Chile. In Chile, they experience an overthrow of a democratic government, and there were decades where people had to fight for bringing back democracy. So that's more acoustic music, but that it has a hopeful message in even more despairing circumstances. So that is again the beauty of music, that it has the human creation has composed, has created so many music genres for basically every human feel and also societal situation. And music ultimately creates a language that sometimes we don't have to express how we feel and what kind of situation is going in the world.
I'm going to switch a little bit on rock español. In the 80s, 90s, it was very influential. Why do you think rock español still carries a political weight?
Well, rock en español comes at a moment, right? A moment in Latin America that where there's still censorship, there's still repression, and rock en español becomes the place where people could talk freely about things, to push against censorship, to push against the lack of liberty in or democracy in different countries. And also, rock comes, it's youth derived, so that young people listen to it, and it's a moment of rebellion, right? So sometimes music is kind of just rebellion for being rebellious sake, but other times it has a social and political committed message that people didn't see on TV or in other records. And so that is why rock en español at that moment becomes so important, because it's the way people can still, talk about the realities without varnishing. We're like, no, it's perfect. No, it's not perfect, right? It's, there's all these things that are making us unhappy. So there's that rebellion. There's also that denunciation of injustices or things that are not going well. That this is also a moment of monoculture. Monoculture in terms of there was only one single culture with TV channels or radio, and it was what the government establishment they favor, and the other music was not played, right? So it came as a kind of what we call counterculture, um, and but it did not do it in it did not do it in too serious of ways or too kind of sermon like. It was fun. It was rebellious. It was enjoyable, and so that's different, right? I mean, when you read political manifesto, and if it's just sometimes it might just leave you despondent, right, and angry. But in music, it also gave you some fun to be able to listen to it, to activate you, to make you feel something. And so that's why I think that rock en español had that. It had many of those components of like, yes, it's telling you something, but it's also allowing you to bounce around, to jump. It gave you an outlet, but it also gave you substance in the lyrics.